I think you should.
Yes, I was sending you a message.
Yes, absolutely, you may start if you're ready.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, brothers and sisters. On behalf of the OAD ESCO members and the resident think tank members, I welcome you to we are very happy.
Oda, I think you're muted.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Hulda Fombo from Benin Republic, PhD candidate at Nanka University. I'm the current General Secretary of OAAD. On behalf of the OAD school members and think tank members, I welcome you to today's conference. It is a pleasure for us to organize this conference so that we can learn more from the experience of our guest speaker today. So before we move to the business of the day and hand over to our moderator, I will introduce the house to you. I mean the OAAD. So as you know, OAAD means Organization of African Academic Doctors. So who we are a multi-professional family of PhD holders and PhD scholars at home and abroad. We are currently in more than 70 countries and from the whole African countries and from Caribbean. We co-create opportunities for research, entrepreneurship, growth, development, and even at old age. So what is the vision of OAAD? Our vision is to enhance the quality of life in Africa through research, technology, and innovation. And our mission is to doctor solutions for the whole world and especially Africa. And the main objective is to bring African intellectuals together to foster development while engaging relevant internal and external stakeholders. For now, we have more than 46 research groups in OAAD. We have in almost every discipline. So yeah, last year, these are some of our statistics as far as publishing is concerned. So we have a lot of researches that have been conducted by various research groups in OAAD. To date, we have more than 76 papers published in high impact journals with OAAD as affiliation. So besides publication, we also have some initiatives that aim to promote collaboration and entrepreneurship. So one of them is paper to product initiative that encourage our researchers to work on projects that can be converted into business projects. We also have peer review publication and co-authorship initiative that aim to review the manuscripts of our members before they're being published. We have always the solution for community initiative. We have networking and collaborative research. We have the OMG initiative that aims to groom our master students to prepare them for the PhD career. We also have mentorship program that aim to provide mentorship to and the advices for some organization. and many, many others. We also have the WAMP, that is the Welfare and Member Progress Initiative that aims to promote welfare within the members of the organization and celebrate the happy events with them. We also have OAAD also promote women. So we have our own, its name is OAAD Women Network that aim to promote women within the organization and outside the organization. So these are some of the initiatives that we have besides writing articles and publish. So we also have some capacity building engagement. So we organize many events to build capacity in collaboration with various big organizations like AU and many others. So the next, I will present you the leadership of our organization, Oed Leadership. The first is our president, Dr. Oed Elijah. He's a PhD holder in environmental management at Fudan University, Shanghai. He's currently our president, as I said. He's the chairman of the OED resident think tank and the OED ESCO. He's lecturer at University of Nigeria and focal person of United Nations Youth and Education Alliance at UNN. He's a co-founder of World Family Forum. He's also the executive secretary of Next Level Education Foundation International and many other initiatives. The next is Dr. Brian Ayugi. He's a PhD holder in climate system and climate change. He's from Kenya. He's currently at Seoul National University of Science and Technology in South Korea, and he's working as senior scientific officer. He's our East African VP. The next is Dr. Mavis Kolobe. She's the Southern Africa Vice President of OAAD. She's PhD scholar at University of International Business and Economics, and she's from Botswana. The next on the list is our Central Vice President. Her name is Abdoulaye Babet Mamat. Our Northern Africa Vice President is Dr. Taha Hussein Musa. He's from Sudan and he's PhD holder in medicine, epidemiology, and health statistics from the Southeast University School of Public Health and Medicine. This is myself, Hulda Fombo from Benin Republic, and I'm at Nankai University and the coordinator of the Economics Research Group. The next is our Assistant General Secretary, Dr. Afiz. He's from Nigeria and currently at University of Science and Technology of China. We have Dr. Emmanuel, who is our editor-in-chief, and he's PhD holder in physical oceanography from South China Sea Institute of Oceanology in Guangzhou. He's also a member of the OAD think tank. We have the Assistant Editor-in-Chief, Dr. Leonard. Our Public Relations Officer is Dr. Hamza Suleiman Abdullahi. Dr. Ididion Atakwa is the Assistant public relation officer, and she's from Nigeria, currently PhD candidate at Georgia University. The next is Dr. Victoria. She's a PhD holder in animal nutrition physiology. She's from Nigeria and currently researcher at Shandong Agricultural University in China. And the last member of our ESCO is Dr. Elijah. He's PhD scholar in social and ecological sustainability. He's from Kenya and he's our treasurer. So this being said, once again, thank you for showing up to our meeting today. I will introduce our moderator and hand over to him to continue. Our moderator's name is Dayo. He's an environmental engineer, PhD student at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York. He's an alum of Chinese Academy of Science. In the lab, Dayo works on building sustainable solutions to environmental challenges. Outside of the lab, he focuses on bridging the gap between people and opportunities in order to ensure the career development of young people from developing countries. So please welcome our today's moderator, Mr. Dayo.
Yeah, thank you very much thank you very much. I thank you for having me, Hoda. And thank you very much everyone for coming. I really appreciate your time. So today we are going to be having a very, very important session here. I think it's very important for our career development as scientists and as young people, as students, to understand the opportunities that are available to us in a different career path. So I've from Nigeria, been to China, and of course in America now, I've been able to see the kind of opportunities that we have as young people globally. So I think it's very important for us to tap into that opportunity. And there is no one more qualified to talk about it than our guests for today. Anyway, before introducing our guest, I would like to talk about a program that we have tomorrow, which is the UNIDO Global Call. That's the global live briefing that will be happening tomorrow at 4 p.m. Shanghai time and 9 a.m. Nigerian time. So if you permit me to share my screen. For some reason, I can't share my screen, but if you can from your end, you can just share the flyer. Without further ado, of course, I'm still going to make these announcements after the session. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yes,
perfect.
We can see it.
Perfect. So tomorrow there is going to be a United Nations International Development Organization's live briefing at 4 p.m. Shanghai time and at 9 a.m. Nigeria time. Of course, in Ghana, it will be 8 a.m. And the call is going to be aimed at identifying green technology solutions towards net zero energy consumption. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our speaker for the day. So our speaker for the day is no one other than Mrs. Gertrude Onoa, and she's an award-winning lawyer. She's the founder of the Law Offices of Gertrude Onoa, PC in New York. Over the course of her law practice, which has spanned over 2 decades, she has provided legal counsels to businesses, churches, entrepreneurs, professionals, investors, and executive clients in the area of immigration, general corporate law, employment law, and real estate. Our guest is a recipient of the New York State Family Court 2011 Pro Bono Attorney Award, and she is also an adjunct professor of immigration Our guest is admitted to practice law in the state of New York. She's also an associate member of the UK Chartered Institute of Arbitrators and a New York State certified mediator. Outside her professional career as a lawyer, she also works in helping students and early career scientists handle the challenges of settling down in America through a non-governmental organization, the International Students for Christ. Please join me in welcoming our special guest for today, Ms. Gertrude Onoha. Thank you very much, Ms. Gertrude.
Good morning from the United States. I'm in the East Coast, so it's just about 8 a.m. And I believe it should be evening time there over there in China, right?
Yes, it is. It's actually
Yes.
8 p.m. in China.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow. It's a pleasure to be in this group. I hope you guys can all hear me properly. You can hear me well, right?
It's
Yes.
perfect.
Yes, clearly.
Okay, excellent. Before I start, I would like to, if you could make me a co-host so that I can share a few things.
You're co-host already.
Oh, I am? Oh, excellent,
Yes.
excellent. Thank you. I just want to share my, let's see. Okay. This is just an introductory video about me, and we're going to watch this for about 2 minutes, and then we'll take it from there. All right, let's go. Can you hear the sound?
Nope.
Okay, just give me a minute.
But maybe others could. If anybody could, then you may let us know. I couldn't.
no.
Let's see. Let me share the sound. Okay. All right, can you hear now?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear it.
Excellent, excellent.
Immigrants from around the globe arrive in the United States daily in search of the American dream. What is the American dream? James Truslow Adams, in his book, The Epic of America, says, "The American dream is that dream of a land in which life should be better and richer and fuller for everyone, with opportunity for each according to ability or achievement. The American dream means different things to different people. For some people, it means great work opportunities and higher incomes, getting a world-class education from top-notch universities like Harvard, Yale, MIT, and other colleges in the United States, pursuing a happy family life, meeting warm and friendly people, finding a place of safety and refuge, starting or investing in a great business. Your American dream can only be made a reality through legal immigration. It is close to impossible for unauthorized immigrants to achieve the American dream. Unauthorized immigrants are those who enter the country without legal permission or those who overstay their legal visas. According to the Pew Research Center, roughly 10.5 million immigrants in the United States were in the United States illegally in 2017. Navigating through the U.S. immigration system can be very complex and confusing for immigrants. The law offices of Gertrude Onuoha has great expertise in United States immigration and nationality law. Every case is treated with the same level of efficiency, passion, and attention to detail. Every client's story is unique and different. Our valued clients are treated with respect and their case held in high confidence. Since 2009, the law offices of Gertrude Onuoha has been helping immigrants fulfill their American dream. They have helped clients overcome deportation, reunite with loved ones, work and study in the United States. Here are some success stories. A 9-year-old Ghanaian boy brought to the United States without status became a permanent resident after 18 years of being undocumented in the United States. Today, he serves in the United States Army. An Ecuadorian citizen became a United States citizen after the law office of Gertrude Onuoha fought to terminate his deportation case. A young Zimbabwean diplomatic staff received T visa status and her deportation case terminated. She now works as a social worker. A 17-year-old Canadian high school student can now drive an automobile and be eligible for college scholarship after the law office of Gertrude Onuoha fought to terminate her deportation case. She is now a legal permanent resident of the United States. A victim of domestic violence who was undocumented in the United States for 13 years now has legal permanent resident status. Today, she has a good job and lives in a nice neighborhood. A mother from Trinidad and Tobago reunited with her two sons after 16 years of painful separation. A client from Iowa State who received his permanent resident status through the employment-based immigration first preference case has this to say about Ms. Gertrude Onuoha.
She helped me stay calm, assuring me that based on her assessment of my case, it was going to be successful, and it sure was. I sincerely recommend her professionalism, sincerity, and faith in representing her clients.
Another New York-based client who received her permanent resident status through marriage has this to say about Ms. Gertrude Onuoha.
She came highly recommended, and we had no doubt in her ability to work us through the process. When my husband and I met with her at her Manhattan office, I was swept off my feet by her professionalism and competence. I knew right away we had found the right attorney. She put together an excellent marriage case on my behalf. The presentation was flawless, that there was no demand for more documents. I highly recommend her services to anyone who desires success in this regard.
Gertrude Onuoha is the founder of the law offices of Gertrude Onuoha. She obtained her law degree from the University of Nigeria and received her Master's of Law degree from Cardozo School of Law in New York. Ms. Onuoha is licensed to practice law in the state of New York and is a member of the American Immigration Lawyers Association. The law office of Gertrude Onuoha, PC, is located at 575 Lexington Avenue, 4th floor, New York, New York. Find her online at www.go-attorney.com or call 212-971-9704.
Okay, wonderful. So I just had that video to give you an idea of what I do. And today we will be focusing on a very narrow area of immigration. And we'll be talking about the employment-based visa or pathway to green card for folks that are so smart like you guys. So I'll try to share my slide now so that at least you can see what I'm going to be talking about. So what we're going to do basically is I'm going to walk through the slide, and then I'll give some time to Q&A. If you have any questions, you can just reserve your questions to the end of the seminar. And once I'm done, I will take all your questions, I promise you, until everybody is satisfied. So I'm here for you today. All right, without further ado, so I'll be talking about the EB2 National Interest Waiver. And this is a specific pathway. There are so many pathways to the United States green card. And this, because of your background, many of you are PhD holders, you're involved in research. So I'm going to be talking about research opportunities in the United States and the National Interest Waiver pathway to green cards. Now, when we talk about green card is the permanent residency that enables you to live, work, and stay here in the United States. It's the pathway to becoming a US citizen. You already know a lot about me, so I'm going to skip this slide. Before we go into our main topic today, I know many of us are scattered all over the globe and you're doing wonderful things, and I really appreciate that. But I just want to give you 7 reasons why you should come to the United States. Number 1, we have world-class universities here in the United States. At least 15 to 13 American universities are ranked among the top 20 in the world. So if you're doing any kind of research work, you should definitely consider coming to the United States, maybe to do a part of it, finish up, or even to live. Why not? The United States has quality healthcare. We have a strong economy here. there are great career opportunities. I mean, we have many global organizations. Their headquarters is here. Google, Facebook, YouTube. I mean, the career opportunities are excellent and very rewarding. We have excellent real estate space. The United States, we love big things, big homes, you know. And for those of you who are into STEM, we have the science and innovative technology here. There's a whole lot when it comes to scientific and technological research. And of course, there's tourism. So, I mean, there's quite a bit of motivation for you to consider coming here. And if you choose not to even live here, at least you can come here to do some work, your research, and all that. So, like I said today, I am going to be focused on the EB2 or EB1 pathway. And that's because for many of us here, we hold a PhD degree or a master's degree in different fields. So what is the EB2 pathway to green card? So the law provides Section 203 that aliens with advanced degree who are exceptional can get their green card through this method. Now, what is an advanced degree under the law? An advanced degree equates to a bachelor's degree with 5 years of progressive work experience, or a master's degree, or even a PhD degree. So if you have any of those, or even one of those, you qualify. Okay, of course, there are other things that we look at, but that's just for this EB2. It's called alien with advanced degree. So you just need to have this advanced degree, or you can show that you are a person of exceptional ability. And even for the exceptional ability, you are only required to establish 3 things. It could be any of these things. It could be, degrees, academic records, letters from former employers documenting at least 10 years of full-time work experience, or you have some kind of license or certification to practice your profession, you command high salaries, or you've done some research work and articles and publications. And I know for this group, you guys are very robust with publications. So that's a really strong point, if you do have it. Of course, leadership of critical projects and talks in the news. What have you done that has been talked about in the journal, newspaper, television, wherever? You just need to let us know. So the thing with this process is that you would need to actually establish to us that you have the requirements, because whatever I'm saying here today is just a tip of the iceberg. You understand? It's not something that we can go into details, but I can assure you that if you need to do a consultation, we will walk through the process with you. Okay. And when we talk about this exceptional ability, it could be in the area of science, art, or business. But just in terms of the success rate, we've seen a lot of success in the area of sciences. Okay. And in my practice, we've never had any case denied in the EB2 category as of today. So that's something I can actually talk about. So definitely all these things are things we'll talk about during consultation because they go in depth. Now, for you to show that you qualify for the EB2, other than what I've talked about, you have to meet a 3-point category. Number 1, you have to establish that your work is of substantial merit and national importance. That is, your work is important to the United States. We want to know your contribution. So, for example, if you say, I am maybe a pharmacist, I'm involved in the research that has to do with, like, just a case that we won recently. This lady is a pharmacist, and she was involved in some kind of research where they were looking for the cure for throat cancer, and we were able to establish that not a lot of people have that kind of cancer in the United States, but we're able to provide statistics showing that throat cancer is a very dangerous type of cancer. And the kind of molecule or chemical, whatever the client was going to provide to the drug companies would really help in providing a kind of cure for cancer. And of course, the case was approved. So you want to show how important is your work to the United States. Keep in mind that when we talk about the EB2 process, we are focused on the United States. We're focused on the United States. Of course, if you can show that your work has even a global benefit, all the better. But the focus is how does your work benefit the United States? The reason I'm saying the United States, because I found people who are very passionate about some issues, maybe about in their country, and then they want to do this EB2. So we're saying that it's not about your country, it's not about you, it's not even about just your passion, but it's about your contribution to the United States. What contribution are you bringing to the table? There are other types of green card where that is not required. But if you want to go this pathway, you have to establish that your work is going to be of great national importance to the United States. And there are many ways that can be established. So the next thing we want to show in these types of case is that you are well positioned to advance the proposed endeavor. So when it comes to EB2, we're not just concerned with, oh, I am an industrial chemist, I am a medical doctor, or I'm a pharmacist, or whatnot. We are more interested in your area of specialization, your contribution, your work, your research. What work are you doing that's going to benefit the United States? And if you're here and you're working on something that's going to benefit maybe the United Nations, then you can be sure that somehow we can link it up to the United States. For example, if you're working on emission, you're working on maybe health issues that are important to the United Nations, so many issues that emanate from the sciences, business, or even arts. These issues they have global phenomenon, and somehow we can link them to the United States. So if you're working on those kind of things, well, I think you might be a candidate for this type of green card. You must be well positioned to advance this cause. So for example, if you say, oh, my job is to provide a cure for cancer, you must be able to show that, okay, upon arrival to the United States, this is something you're going to continue working on because you're coming here because you're bringing value to the table. So you definitely want to make sure that when you get here, you're going to be able to do that. So what you want to establish in this second category is basically that you have leadership skills, proven successful work. Maybe you've done some work before. Even if the work is related to some other fields, you're able to extrapolate that, okay, I was successful in this one thing, successful in that one thing. I'm likely to be successful when I get here. If you've done any kind of critical projects, this is the time to talk about it. If you held leadership positions, this is the time to talk about it. Then we also want to know your intent. We would ask you to do a letter of intent showing that, oh, when I get here, I'm going to work as a professor, I'm going to continue to research, I'm going to be in the industry, whatever your goals are. That's fantastic. And then finally, you want to talk about the third prong. Now, in talking about the third prong, I really need to highlight one of the beauty of this process. One of the beauty about the attraction about this visa that we're talking about is, number one, you don't need any employer to sponsor you. You can self-sponsor. Oh my goodness. This is absolutely encouraging, because to get a sponsor or an employer to sponsor you here in the United States, it's pretty challenging. So with this type of visa, you don't need no sponsor. You don't need anybody to sponsor. You self-petition yourself. Another beautiful attraction again about this visa is you don't even need an offer of employment. In other words, you don't have to have say, oh, maybe Google has said, okay, I'm going to hire you to do this. No. So you don't need an offer of employment. You don't need an employer. From whatever part of the globe that you are, you can make this application. You don't even need to be in the United States to make this application. One of the applications we just won, one of the cases we won recently, the guy is not even here in the United States. And we put in his case, and within a few months, the case was approved. He doesn't work here in the United States. In fact, he works for his country, his government in his country. And the case was absolutely approved. And in fact, he barely had any publication. But of course, we have to do a totality test. We look at everything and see what you have. So the third prong is very important because they're going to waive a job offer for you. They're going to waive also, getting an employer. But you have to establish that they waiving this thing will really, really benefit the United States. It will be beneficial for the United States to waive the requirement of a job offer and a labor certification. So technically, if a foreigner is coming into the United States, you're supposed to get what is called a labor certification. It's a kind of rigorous process, and it could take as long as a year. And an employer has to do that for you. So they're waiving all that for you. Then you have to establish that, okay, now why do we need to waive that for you? And there are many ways you can establish. For example, if you're a public health practitioner, you can show that there is shortage, especially in this era of COVID. We have shortages, or maybe there's urgent need for healthcare workers. You have to establish in that third prong why we need to have you in, why they need to waive all this Department of Labor process. Keep in mind that these are the things that we as attorneys, we put together for you, okay, based on the information you give to us. We will then put the case together and make these three arguments for you. Sometimes I tell you, you can run into 40 to 45 pages. I know many of us here are researchers, so that might not be a big deal for you. But for some of our clients, they've never seen that kind of large, it's a very dense application. Sometimes the entire application runs into over 400 pages, and you have to present it to the United States government. So as much as we can, we try not to overload, but at the same time, we want to, of course, incorporate everything. So it's very important, again, this issue of national importance. Like I said, it could be in the area of environment, economy, technological advancement, culture, energy, business. If you're able to show global contribution, all the more better. We already talked about the second prong, and that second prong, you're just highlighting who you are. And one thing I've noticed with some professionals, people are very humble and they don't want to show off what they have. But when it comes to this application, you really have to show who you are. The more you can show who you are, the better. Because guess what? They don't know you. They've never met you. And for this application, they probably would never even meet you. Maybe the only time you'll meet them would be when you go to the embassy to get your visa. But the reality is that for the application is a bifurcated process. So for this first step, they really need to meet you through your works, through what we say about you. So you really need to put your credentials out there and show yourself. I did talk about showing the last prong, which is, and the last prong is very, very important because many cases have failed on that last prong, which is, why do we need to waive a job offer? Why do we need to waive an offer of employment or a sponsor for you? There are many ways we can establish that. So you can show the importance of your work. You're going to create more jobs. The United States loves anything that will bring more jobs. And that's one of the attractions of the United States, because people come in here and they get jobs. So the more jobs we can create, the better. So if you're able to show that, listen, I'm coming here, I'm going to contribute to this economy, and through my work, more jobs will be created. Excellent. Again, it's not just what you say that matters, but we have to prove what we say, statistics, the numbers. So you can show your importance in the area of education, business, STEM education, climate change, economy, aviation. I mean, We've done these cases for all kinds of professionals. So there's a lot of things going on out there. The STEM field is a very lucrative and robust field for this kind of cases. So they really like that. And we did talk about research opportunities here. So if you're coming in here, say, oh, you're going to be doing research opportunities, that's excellent. Because they want to know what you will be doing when you get here. And there are many opportunities for research. There's government opportunities in the area of engineering, life science, all kinds of opportunities here. And if you go online, you will see everything, or most things. Of course, we have the National Science Foundation and all that. So what are the benefits of this type of visa we're talking about? Number one, we already established that job offer would be waived. I don't know how to tell you this, but this is huge. This is big, because to get a company to hire you from overseas sometimes can be very challenging. You don't need to be in the US to apply. Again, this is plus. Many people don't know these things, and that's why I really appreciate the president of this organization providing information to people. This is huge, this is big, and it can make a difference for you. Sometimes when we talk about immigration, we should not limit it to, just, myself or yourself. Think about your children. Think about the generation that's coming. They can benefit. We have great resources here in the United States for children. Education, the kind of world-class education they get is amazing. You get the 10 years green card if you are approved. And then family members, such as your spouse and dependent children under 21 years will also get the green card. If you have children that are above 21, they will not immigrate immediately with you, but there's a process for them. A green card would really help you. And after 5 years, you become a citizen of the United States. I mean, isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that beautiful? After 5 years of being a green card holder, you can now proceed to become a citizen of this beautiful country. I tell you, it's really wonderful. And if you have never thought about it, I think you should sort of have an open mind, and you should really explore this beautiful opportunity. So let's talk about how this works. So of course, we're talking to most people that are outside the United States. In that case, the application will be in a two-step process. If you are inside the United States, typically we will do the application as a concurrent application. That means the two-step process will be done together. So the first part, which is the NIW, National Interest Waiver, the I-140 petition, we would do that together for you, and then also add your green card. Everything will go in one application. But because most of you are outside the United States, so the first step is to do the NIW part. Once that part is approved, then we now move to the second part, which is the green card part for the permanent residence. Of course, there's the option of premium processing. You have to pay a fee of $2,500. Honestly, except there are some very compelling factors, we typically don't encourage our clients to do premium processing, because the thing about premium processing is you're asking them to adjudicate your case really quickly. And we're talking of a mountain load of documents. Somebody's going to sit down and quickly read that. And there are no guarantees. Premium processing does not mean you're going to be approved immediately, but we prefer that they take their time, read your application, and then process it normally, versus just asking somebody to run through the application within 15 days. There's that possibility that human factor, they may miss something. We don't typically recommend it. However, if the client wants it, why not? Now, the time frame from this application, believe you me, is we don't have control over it. That has to be established from here. We submit the application, the United States government makes the decision. All we do is to try to make you very successful as we present you to the government. Right now, the trend that we're seeing is a little bit erratic, because cases that were submitted last year, many of them have not, been approved, or there's no decision yet. But cases that were submitted this year, we are beginning to see decisions. Again, we don't have control over these things. COVID did mess up a lot of timelines. So you have to be patient when you do things like this. Just leave it there. Whenever they approve it, you move on. So pretty much that's what we have to say about this process. Now, I'm going to take question and answers. If you need my information, we'll put it out there on the chat box. If you have any question, you can put your question on the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself. But I think it's always better if it's on the chat. That way we can read it. I'm going to read it out, and we will then discuss your question. My office phone number is 212-971-9704. And the fax number is 866-823-6996. All right, without further ado, I will stop at this point and take on any questions we have.
Yeah, so thank you very much for that very insightful presentation. Really appreciate it. And again, of course, I've heard you quite a number of times, but I still learned quite a lot, even in this presentation. And, if people are asking us why we held, this session to, African scientists who actually want to, build Africa, I think it's also very important. I think global citizenship is very important when you have like the freedom to be anywhere, the freedom to conduct research in America, to go back to Africa, to, to have collaborations in China. Those kinds of freedom that comes with having multiple passports is, it can't be overstated. So, and
yeah,
when
I'm just going to add to your point that when you get the United States citizenship, you become a world-class citizen. You can enter over so many countries. I don't have the numbers here, but it opens you up to so many countries of the world without visa. So I mean, just having it is a very big opportunity, and it doesn't stop you from doing what you're doing. You can still, go around, do your research, and you're not like fully tied to the United States. Of course, you're operating from the United States, but it just opens you up to a world of opportunity in terms of traveling around. You become a global citizen, pretty much.
Yeah. So thank you very much. In fact, a lot of people come to America, use the student path and could take advantage of being a student, and then the permits that they have after their studentship to sort of transition from studentship to, full citizenship in America. But I think it's not very obvious that even those that have their PhD outside the US, like people in China, people in Nigeria and Kenya and in other parts of the country who are actually like doing really important research, can, become a permanent citizen right there, like can become a permanent resident, right there, even before coming to the US. And I think that that's a very good opportunity. That's something that a lot of students, even in America, might not be exposed to. I mean, that it's sort of, this opportunity is sort of even puts you a step ahead of some students if you get it. So right. I think we are really, really important. You've answered quite a number of these questions, but I would still love to probably just ask them. So in case some of us didn't hear it during the presentation, it's just like the key takeaway from this presentation. So I think the first question I would like to ask before we go to the questions that we have on the chat box is, do you have to school in America before you come here as a permanent resident? Do you have to school in America?
Okay, so the answer to that is absolutely no. There are many channels for you to come into the United States without being a student. But just in the context of what we're saying, as a professional who is contributing one way to the global economy, or if your work is going to benefit the United States, I did talk about a professional who is into the oil and gas industry in Nigeria. We did a case for him. He doesn't live here, In fact, he's still in the process of getting the green card, but the NIW was just approved. So you do not need to be a student here for you to be approved for this type of green card that we're talking about.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So I'm going to go to the chat box now. And one of the questions is, if my NIW is filed with an attorney, if my NIW filed with an attorney is approved, is it advisable I file for green card or immigrant visa processing personally, or must I go through an attorney?
So let me just say something. And by the way, we skipped 2 questions before that. When it comes to US immigration, you can do anything by yourself. You don't even need a lawyer sometimes to do some of these things, to be honest. You can do whatever you want to do by yourself, but believe you me, people get into trouble for that. So let me just make it clear that you can process your case by yourself at any time. Even when you're in deportation, you can process your case. You can do whatever you want to do at any time on your own. But we have been trained in this business. We know it in and out. This is our bread and butter. You are better off using a professional. However, to answer that question, you can always do it by yourself. If at any point you feel that, okay, you are okay and you're not going to make mistakes. Because the problem here is this. Okay, let me give you an example about a client. His case was just approved in June. And June of this 2022. This is a first-class oil and gas professional. I mean, he made a first class in the UK. His case is terribly, I use the word terribly, impressive, his credentials. And he sought to do this application by himself, put the case together. Of course, USCIS bombarded him with a ton of questions. And I said to him, you know what, before I take on this case, at that point, they were going to deny his case if he didn't answer the questions. So I said to him, can I take a look at what you presented? And honestly, I read through his work of maybe about 40-something pages. I couldn't even decipher who this individual is, just looking at, so confusing. The entire information jumbled up and everything. So I said to him, listen, I've reviewed your case. You do have what it takes to get through to the finish line, but you have not presented yourself properly. This is you're dealing with tons and tons of documents. These are requirements of law. The officers that are reviewing this case, they are looking for you to meet certain requirements. This is not something that an officer is just waking up and, I like the way this person looks. No, these things are codified. These are requirements of law, and they need you to meet these target points. So upon reviewing the case, you don't know this stuff. You just wake up, you pick up a few things on the internet, you put it together and you present it. Of course, they're going to deny the case in most cases. So like this individual, when he told us about all this, we sat down with him to define first, who are you? We don't even know who you are. An officer that's going to approve a case, they need to know who you are. Just looking at the first page, you think you know who you are. When we start our review, most clients or a lot of clients have told us that, listen, the questioning we give them, because we get to the core of their work. So by the time we do these reviews and everything, sometimes, believe you me, PhD holders, almost 30 minutes, 1 hour for us to figure, for them to be able to articulate who they are. You'll be shocked. And we are no longer shocked, because at first I was like, but this person has spent almost 10 years. They're not even able to articulate who they are. In a meeting, we say, okay, tell us about your work. I'm talking about PhD holders. Some they don't really know how to, they know who they are, but they don't know how to present it. Now think about that person trying to put something down. So that's where the problem comes. But in any case, this individual I was talking about, we did the presentation for him, and within less than a week, that case was approved. He was shocked. You understand? Because we know this thing. So just to get to the point, you can at any point do this application on your own. That's something that I will not fail to tell you. I must tell you the truth. You can do it yourself. But whether you would be approved is a different kettle of fish.
So yeah, thank you very, very much for that, ma'am. I think I missed quite a number of questions, so I'm
Questions, actually, just to...
Yeah, I'm just going to start right there. So the person says, please, what is the vaccine mandate status overseas currently?
Okay, I'm not a healthcare professional, so I would be able to answer that question in a professional way. But again, I'm trying to decode your question. If you are somebody doing any kind of research in the vaccine area, you are doing a phenomenal job for the world, not just the United States. So you should definitely consider applying. Okay, that's what I can say. But I can't speak to vaccine issue. I'm not a healthcare person, and I'm not an authority in that.
Yeah, so I think she might also be asking about the immigration requirements as to whether or not people who are coming are required to be vaccinated or something.
I think there was a time that requirement was really, really top notch. Right now, I think most things have been de-escalated. I'm not sure it's required right now. Of course, if you're leaving your country is the first determinant. I don't know. I don't think right now for you to enter the United States, you have to be vaccinated, but I'm not very sure about that. I would have to ask.
All right. So thank you very much. Please, how much is the application cost for non-premium routes?
Processing. Okay. So when we talk about the application for fees, there are two sets of fees. We have the lawyer's fees, and then we have money that you're paying to the United States government. Now, if you're outside the US, the application fee for the first stage is $700, non-negotiable. That is money that you pay to the United States government. After that application has been approved, then you have to go through the green card application processing, which we call the consular processing. That means you're going to go to the embassy, you fill out the forms, and then go to the embassy to get your visa and all that. That other process too, I think, I'm not sure exactly how that amount, how much they charge there, but it's somewhere around like 300 plus, not entirely, because most of our clients are actually here in the United States. Now the attorney fees is $7,500. We do require you pay 50% down payment, and then we spread over the remaining portion. This fees covers the NIW stage and the green card. That's very important. So we're talking about the green card and the NIW. Now, if you decide that, okay, I don't want the lawyer to do the green card stage for us, then you just be paying $5,500. Okay, so, but we typically do both. I love to do both because that way I'm responsible for the green card. Because when we do separate, when we're done with the clients, sometimes the clients are confused. They're like, okay, what is the next stage? They're not sure what to expect. They're not sure who to reach out to. So typically we just like to do the entire process. And for that reason, most times we just charge the full amount, which is $7,500.
All right. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting. There's actually a second part to that question. That says, what are the basic information or documents that I should provide as part of an application package?
So typically when you sign up with us, we give you a list of documents, but I can just run through those documents with you right now. So typically we want to see your identity document, immigration history. We want to see all your credentials, again, your awards, certification, degrees, publication, whatever you have, we definitely want to see. It's more like whatever you say you prove. Because in US immigration law, which I know very well, the burden of proof is always on you. In law, there is something we call burden of proof. That means if you say, I'm a British citizen, it's your job to prove it by showing us a passport or some form of birth certificate to show that you're a British citizen. If you say I was born in the United States, your job is to prove whatever you say, you have to prove. So it's not just enough to say, oh, I'm a global expert working on maybe cholera or tuberculosis or something, and then you don't have anything to prove it. So you have to always prove whatever you say. And of course, letters of recommendation, which is a huge component of this process, the letters of recommendation. So those are some of the documents.
All right, so thank you very much, Ma. And okay, for researchers, I would just say that anything that just proves that your work is impactful and stuff like that, which will be citations, number of papers, collaborations, projects that we've done, and so on and so forth. I'm sure that answered your question. So going to the next person, if my NIW is filed, okay, I think I've done that. Thank you. I don't know if I think I should just read this out. Good. Thank you. I have a concern. Recently, I've been given an offer for a postdoc position at USDA. However, my salary is between 45 and 60,000. My question is, with this salary, will I be able to save something while living with my family? I'm currently in China, and saving here is not bad. I know that. Anyway, I don't really. Of course, I know that even apart from your position as an immigration lawyer, you are also you have projects that help people settle down in America. So you are double qualified to answer this question.
Well, let me just say that I cannot speak to your standard of living, but again, my understanding of that question is that because she's saying that will I have enough to save? Can I be able to save something while living here with my family? So again, I don't know your standard of living. I don't know how many people are in your family, so I cannot speak to that. But 45 to 60,000 is not a bad amount of money here in the United States. It just depends on your standard of living. What we always tell people is that when you come to the United States, invest in your immigration journey. Because ultimately, this individual who is working right now, maybe as a postdoc, if you invest into your immigration and you become a green card holder with a PhD, definitely now you can optimize, you can compete in the job market, and you can get most likely a better job offer. So it's not enough to just come into the United States as a foreigner and then you just relax and then you invest into things that will not help you stay here long. Because see, I've been doing this for a while. I know clients that this thing is a game changer. Let me just summarize. It's a game changer. It changes everything. I mean, I have a student currently, she's a PhD student. She was doing, I think, student assistantship, earning maybe somewhere around 20,000 as a student. She got her work authorization based on this NIW. Currently, she just got a job of 106,000 just by virtue of getting a job as a PhD student. She hasn't even graduated, but just by virtue of the work authorization. So you have to determine your priority. You have to be smart. Do I invest into my immigration versus just investing into like buying fancy things? And then at the end of 2-3 years, you're doing your postdoc. They say, okay, the time is up. You got to go back to wherever you're coming from. And after 3 years, the children are already embedded in the school system. You're already used to the American lifestyle, which is beautiful, you know, and you don't want to go back to wherever you're coming from, but you did not do the right thing at the beginning. You didn't invest. So you got to invest into your immigration journey. Many people have been advising them to do that. And by God's grace, they get this green card and it just changes everything. I can't go into all the details. I'm telling you, one of my clients just wrote to me recently, said, Ms. Onoa, do you know I just got a 6-digit job? This is somebody who came as a visitor and we're able to help him get his papers through the NIW. He came in, invested that very year into his immigration history, and today he's got a beautiful home, beautiful job, and he's very happy here. So you got to make that investment into your immigration.
Thank you very much, Ma. I would also emphasize like if you come as a PhD holder, or even as a PhD student in America, or as a master's student, if you don't have like a permanent residence, you've not started. Because like if you're trying to check for job offers, internship positions and all that, you have to scroll through a lot. There are so many opportunities that you would qualify for, but would not be able to apply for just because you're not a permanent resident. So, but getting like investing in your immigration journey removes all the blockers that you definitely have. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's like opening you up to a whole planet, a different planet of opportunities. You don't have to, skip the opportunities that you'd like, because of course you now qualify for almost every opportunity you can lay your hands on.
Right.
So, to the next question. Wow, thank you very much, Mara, for this wonderful opportunity. Is this limited to PhD holders alone or master's degree holders also? Could you please
Absolutely
clarify?
not limited to PhD holders alone. So like I said at the beginning, the requirement for EB2 is alien with an advanced degree. And every time we do this, you got to look at what the law says. How does the law define advanced degree? It says a bachelor's degree with 5 years of progressive work. So if you have your bachelor's degree, say in chemical engineering or mechanical engineering, and you've done 5 years of progressive work after you obtain that degree, you're good to go ahead. We've even done it. I remember a student from this lady, she made a first class from the University of Nigeria. She came in here. She's in the oil and gas industry. She was actually doing her master's here in the United States, but we didn't use the master's. We just used her first degree in electrical engineering or something like that. And her case was approved. So first degree, bachelor's degree with 5 years of progressive work. That lady I'm talking about, I think she had about 10 years or so of progressive work. Or you could do master's degree, or you could do your PhD. So yeah, either of those three are fine. And if you have a bachelor's degree and you don't have 5 years of progressive work, we can't even take the case. I just did a consultation for somebody who she's very good and everything, but she did not have up to 5 years. So we're like, no, we can't do this because it's going to be denied. Yeah.
All right, so thank you very much for that. There's a second part to that question that asks, could you please clarify the difference between this NIW program and, this program NIW and OPT and H1B?
So I'm going to start with the H1B. So basically the H1B is a non-immigrant work visa. You could get it inside the United States or outside. So basically you need an employer for you to get H1B. It's not an immigrant visa. It's a non-immigrant, meaning that it could potentially lead to green card if the employer so desires, but you have a certain number of years to work in that category. And when you are done, if the employer is not happy with you, then you have to pack your load and go back to where you're coming from. Or you move to another category, maybe go to school or do something, right? So that's H1B. You need an employer, you need a job offer for that category, and it's non-immigrant. Then the OPT you talked about is optical, is an opportunity for students who have schooled here in the United States to work in the United States. So typically you would do 1 year after you studied here. And the OPT is the optional practical training. If you don't want it, it's up to you, but it's an opportunity for you to just enjoy and, see the American work environment, practice what you've been taught. And if you're in the STEM field, like that science field, you can work for about 3 years. And this is amazing because you get to make money, top dollar, especially when you are in a very good field. So you can do that for 1 year or 3 years, depending on your field. The NIW is different from all this because the NIW shoots you far ahead of this. It takes you straight to the path of green card. I don't know how to explain this. When you get the green card, you're on the pathway to becoming a citizen. When you get the green card, you can apply for jobs. You can optimize. You know what it means, optimization. you can compete. It's not that you're looking at a job and they're saying, no, they can't give it to you. The only thing is that you can work with the federal government, but other than that, you can compete, and that's key. Many are qualified, but they are in some kind of category that restricts them, you understand? And so they can't really optimize what they have. So this NIW shoots you. You don't need an offer of employment. You don't need an employer. This is huge because getting an employer, it's hard. I mean, very hard. Yeah, so that's the major difference.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Ma. I think we have one last question. But before that, I'd like to say, it also it breaks my heart to see how often people have to find jobs when they're when their visa is attached to H1B. I mean, their stay is attached to H1B. Like, a lot of people would lose their jobs, and they have to get jobs within the next 60 days, or else they lose their status in America. So I think if you have your NIW approved and you have a green card, I think you pretty much don't have such things to worry about. Anyway, so going to the last question, the person, oh no, this is not the last question. Is it advisable to enter the US with a postdoc or PhD visa while awaiting decision with my NIW visa, or just wait?
So am I assuming that you submitted an I-140 and the case is still pending? I mean, nothing stops you from coming to the United States to do whatever you want to do if they give you the visa. There's nothing, because what will happen is that if you're in here and the case your NIW gets approved, then you just adjust your status here. Or if you're outside, it gets approved, you go through consular processing. It really depends on, you can come in to answer that question. But again, I don't know all the details. When it comes to things like this, we normally do a consultation. For these cases, we do a consultation that lasts from anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. And we do charge a fee of $200 for the consultation. Without the consultation, we don't know all the factors, we're just answering questions here. We don't have all the facts. So don't even take these questions as legal advice. These are just, if you like, at most opinions. So, but when we do a proper consultation, that's when we get all the facts. If you have any concerns, people have a lot of concerns and they may not disclose it in a public forum like this. But during the consultation, they tell us what their concerns are. We give them legal advice and all that. Yeah. So,
Thank you very much for that, Ma. I would really, I don't know, I would appreciate if you could drop your email so people could reach out to you after these sessions, because it's also, we can't address all the questions that we have right here. If you have concerns, our email is going to be right there. You can drop the questions right straight to her. Yes, so at this point, we might not be entertaining any more questions, but I would just love to read out the last two questions as a packet. All right, so our email is there, that's gertsonuoha@yahoo.com, gertsonuoha@yahoo.com. All right, so the question says, please, how about those who are in transport, logistics, and industry? To which extent are they qualified to run? And for someone who's a lecturer who has a science and a PhD, which visa route is better? I think that's pretty much all the questions that we have.
There's a third question here. I'll just add that as I bundle everything up. We say, if I understand you clearly or correctly, this pathway provides a way to settle in the US, but you have to find a job yourself when you have arrived, right? My question is, how long does it take to get a meaningful job? And how much does someone need to survive, say, a month without a job? Well, let me take the last question. So yeah, you're right. When you get, and by the way, if you get approved and then you get your visa, you don't have to be inside the United States before you start looking for a job. you can start looking for a job even overseas, because at that point you have your green card. And once you get the job, then you can come in here. Of course, they have a time frame for which you have to show up in here, after you get a visa. I mean, there are jobs in the US. There are jobs that I can tell you. It depends on how you want to go about it. You can start with anything just to survive. And, as you get your feet down, then you can continue looking for something. There are jobs. So when you come in here, especially if you're coming with a green card, there are jobs. Again, it depends on many factors, your industry, and what you're actually looking for. But you'll always find something to start with, and then from there you take it up. Okay. And then for the person who says he's a lecturer in Nigeria having a science PhD, again, we cannot make any determination. You definitely would have a pathway, but again, we don't know what that PhD is on. We don't know what you've done. There's just so much that goes along with this process. Like I said, we just scratched the ground. This is a very detailed and dense type of application. And we have no way of knowing except we do the consultation. We have to ask a lot of questions. We have to see what you have. Sometimes we have to even flesh out the theory of the case, because what we even find out as we do this consultation is that some people have done like 2-3 things, even 4. And when it comes to NIW, I used to tell clients that versatility is not really an asset. Like, you don't want to be spreading yourself thin. I've done this, I've done that, I've done this. Yeah, I've done healthcare, I've done science, I've done data analytics. No, you want to go and present yourself as an expert that, okay, I have done data analytics. This is who I am. This is what I've done. And then you build momentum based on the trajectory or the theory of the case. This is what we do during consultation. What is the theory of the case? Because we find out a lot of people, they've done 2 or 3 things. So we need to know which one are we going to present. You understand? And sometimes we may have to combine 2 things, but we don't want to confuse the officer with saying, this person has done business analytics, she's done healthcare, she's done this research. You confuse them. We don't even know who you are again. So that is why we need to do those consultations. And then to the third, the last question, this person talks about being in the transport industry. Transportation is very big and huge here in the United States, in any economy. So if your work is in the transport business, definitely is something that would fit into the NIW criteria. And you said, to which extent are they qualified to run a business? I mean, if you come in here after you get your NIW and you want to run a business in regards to the area to which you got the NIW, why not? That's good, because guess what? By you running a business, you're creating job opportunities for people. And that's what we really want. But be very careful when you are presenting your case. If you say you're going to run a business, because they have to look into, then you have to start proving, like showing how you're going to run the business, projecting about, the number of people that you will employ. We've read some of the decisions, and some people have failed in trying to establish that they will run a business. So that is a very tricky point. And definitely during consultation, we'll be able to advise you on that, Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Mara. We actually have quite a number of, I would advise people to send you.
Let me just take this is a follow-up. I think this person really needs to be clarified.
All right.
You said as a follow-up question, so for example, if I prove my worth to the US and get my green card, can I work at Walmart while waiting for a job at NASA without not violate the conditions? No, the reality is this: when you get the green card, right? Yeah, there's nothing that says, oh, because you said you would like to work with NASA, or then if you don't work with NASA, then you violated. We expect you to work in your industry. You understand? That expectation is there because that's why you are coming in. But if you have to keep body and soul and you get a job with Walmart just to find your feet, I don't think anybody is going to come after you. Honestly, that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. What advice do you have about the worth of the certificate outside the US. How easy is it to get a job? So if your degree is from outside the US, you just need to do the evaluation so they have to do the evaluation to show what it equates to in the United States. Most degrees that I've seen from Nigeria or I don't know other countries, it does actually equate to what it is here in the United States. That's equivalent assessment has to be done. And then if you had a master's from outside the US and it equates to a master's here in the US, then in the job market, you're on a playing field. Of course, some employers would prefer something from here. It just depends. When you come into the United States to the job market, you really have to prove yourself. You understand? People are a little bit like suspicious, you didn't school here. But listen, it's all about you. If you are able to get through the door and you prove yourself, I'm telling you, the sky is your limit. So it's more like getting through and then proving yourself. And once you prove yourself, like I said, the sky is your limit. So over to you. I don't know if you want me to take further questions, but I think they keep asking more and more.
So thank you very much. I actually didn't want to exhaust our guests because there's always a lot to ask about immigration issues. Really, thank you very much. We appreciate you. We appreciate you coming.
It's a pleasure.
Enlightening us. So right now, I would like to hand over to the president of OAAD. But before then, I would also like to remind us about tomorrow's session, Unido session. I'm going to post the link here so you can register your interest in attending this session. But right now, I'm going to hand over to the president, Dr. Oed. Over to you, sir.
Hello. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. Yes. Very good morning to you, Ms. Gertrude,
Please, sir.
Yes, for coming again. I still remember the conversation we had the other time, and of course that immediately struck a chord which resonated so strongly with us, and showing the fact that indeed we would want to have you also to share these experiences with our people. And we're excited with the sincerity and the sincere engagement we've observed with you. And we're hoping that many of our people will be able to get involved with this and explore for those who are interested in coming to the US, to explore their potentials. Of course, yesterday we had conversations about people who want to become professors in China. And we're also discussing about our people who want to go to anywhere, wherever you want to go to. But of course, we keep telling our people, wherever you're going to, keep it in your mind, you are African, and watch out, because we're going to call you sometime soon when we set things in place, because we're fixing Africa. And we know we have what it takes to make it happen. And we're happy for people like you who have been out there for quite some time and you gather some experience, and you're willing to share with others to facilitate their engagements towards enhancing the quality of lives of their people and for themselves. So this is really good, and we thank you for this engagement. And hopefully for people who want to link up, we see how we can work around it subsequently. But one thing you can be sure of is that these people who are listening to you now, I think they are all overqualified. And,
absolutely, I agree with you.
Yeah, and we hope that those who are interested. For me, I don't want to come to the US, but that's my own private reasons. Because there are other things in other places where I would prefer to focus. But those who want to go to the US, we encourage you. This is, at least you heard it from her, and we can say of a certainty, some people can just talk, and you cannot ascertain what they're saying, whether it's true or not. But we can tell you from great level of authority that what she's saying is true, because we've seen other things she's doing. And you can make some reference or some inference based on what someone has done previously, whether they are telling the truth or they're just trying to look for customers or to patronize them. So you heard about the fact that they haven't lost a case. That implies that they want to explore and check out the possibility, assuming they were the people to make the decision, they would accept only those they would afford to offer, assuming they were the government, they will accept only those they'll be willing to offer the NIW pathway visa, arrangement. So, and this gives a huge level of, understanding. And if you would want to get involved with that, link up. She's provided her contact. What we just ask of you is, when you get there, remember that you are coming from Africa, and whatever you're doing there, you should be watching out, looking for how you can help other people. There are several of us in the groups, thousands of us we've been working together to make things happen for each other. And I want to take this opportunity also to thank our brother George, who is the secretary of the OMG, Computer Science and Engineering Research Group, who has now crossed over to the main OAD arrangement. We're happy for the work you're doing and for sharing these thoughts with us in terms of recommending our sister Gertrude to come to talk to us on this topic. And I encourage you, keep your eyes open, look out for more, and always let us know. Just as this happened, we make it very plain and very easy for anybody who is thinking about other people. What we're emphasizing is all members of the OAD, the potentials you've got, the capacity you've got, the competencies you've got. Be precise about constantly thinking of the need to make things happen for other people, especially also people who are back home in your village, in your communities, and people, whether they are related to you or not. Remember very strongly and know that the cardinal point of what we're doing in the OAD is that we want to build a platform where people can trust each other and trust the sincerity of their engagement and their willingness to support, make things happen at the global stage in terms of making Africa enjoy the benefits and help us to attain the level of dignity that we should be operating at as humans and as people who have what it takes to contribute to global sustainable development. So please keep this at heart continually. And our sister, Ms. Onoha, we look forward to working with you more. This will not be our last conversation. And hopefully in other aspects as well, we will be able to do things together and see how we can help our continent. You are African, you're Nigerian. So we remind you also, keep doing what you're doing. What you're doing is a great job. We've heard many things about that. We wish you all the best, and I'm also wishing all the best to other participants as I hand over back to the moderator and subsequently to the General Secretary.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for having me, and I look forward to engaging with any of the esteemed, distinguished members of this OAAD organization. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, please remember to take photos, George, when you're done. We should take some group photos if there's nothing else you're doing, and then Hoda, subsequently the General Secretary. Okay, you're muted, George.
Okay, so I said I'm going to try to do that. My bad.
Yeah, I'm going to remove the spotlights so everybody could have opportunity to open their cameras and we can take group photos. Remove spotlight. Yes, so please, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind to open your camera, we are on the first screen and we can take the photos. Thank you very much. Thank you, Amar. Good to see your face. Thank you, Emmanuel. Kidane, thank you. Thank you, Samuel Mboga. Thank you. Yeah, VP Mervis, thank you for opening your camera. Dr. Hamza, thank you. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, the first screen is almost completely active at the moment with video, facial representation of the individuals. Muhannad, if you are able to open your camera, that would be very useful at this time. Muhannad, okay. Wiza, Akim Sikiru, if you're able to open your camera, that would be appreciated. Thank you very much. I see beautiful smiles. And if you haven't started smiling, this will be an opportunity for you to start. Yeah. Yes, perfect. I just captured the smile and I'm going to capture it once more just to be sure that everything is okay. And then I'll move to the second slide. Yes. General Secretary, I hope you're standing by. I think you'll be taking over from me, right? And then we'll be, or whosoever is taking over, will be able to hear the things that will happen. Yes, thank you for opening your cameras. I'm going to the second slide now. People on the second slide are known not to open their cameras, but today is a great day. And we have 2 people already with cameras open on the second slide. Yeah, but as I'm talking, they are closing it. So I hope you can open your camera. If you are able to open your camera, I will just capture in 2 seconds. I'm going to capture this second slide. Anybody opening the camera? Yes, captured. And I'm going to the third slide. Yeah. Thank you. This is looking good. The third, yeah, good looking. Yeah, beautiful. Yes, we've taken the third, and I'll hand back over now to the moderator. Please, over to you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Before I hand over to Oda right now, I just want to remind you to that we're going to upload our videos on the YouTube channel of OAAD. That's going to be available in a couple of days. And thank you very much for coming. Oda, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Judd. We really appreciate your insightful presentation, Miss Onoha. Sorry if I mispronounce it. Thank you very much for sharing all those information with us. We really appreciate it. On behalf of the OADSCO members, we thank you very much for that. I'll also say special thanks to George for recommending our speaker to us today, and thank you for hosting, for being the moderator today. This being said, I want to thank everybody for showing up today. Thank you very much for coming to our today's conference. And quick reminder for our tomorrow's program, please don't miss it. I will share this screen. I will share my screen so you can see it. This is a very important opportunity for you to learn more about the UNIDO Global Call 2022. So thank you very much for coming, and I will wish good night to those who are in the evening, and have a good day for those who are in the USA. So thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you. Yeah, the link for registration for tomorrow's event is already on the chat box. Please feel free, and also the group. There's a group that has been set up for the event. There's a WeChat group. I think I can share the screen so that people may scan. If you want to join the group, you may scan the code and join. Or George, you have the code. Are you able to share it? Or maybe okay. I could.
I would try to do that in a minute.
Okay. Yes, so for those who want to join right here, you may join the group and also invite other people who may be interested to participate in the global call and to learn about the opportunities that can be explored in that regard.
Is my screen share showing?
Yes, it's showing.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
Yes. So please, if you want to join the group, you may scan the code and jump in, especially if you are an entrepreneur or you like entrepreneurship, or you want to have opportunity to understand more of what's happening at the United Nations Industrial Development Organization in this regard. Of course, I'll be part of the event tomorrow as well, and I hope that every one of us can take the opportunity to participate. And wishing us all the best, and always see things happening for each other. And remember, we're going to pass across information soon about our 1,000 co-author papers, because actually what, just like what our sister Ono has said, the truth is that if you're able to get something of that nature, it will be very easy for you, because you can make a claim and show evidence that you're going to help them to facilitate research collaboration within a large network of researchers. And you can show your 1,000 co-authored paper, and that's definitely going to be a huge thing to facilitate your movement to wherever you're interested in going to. So hopefully we'll start that soon, and everybody will be able to enjoy. Yeah. Good. It's great. Yeah. Okay. And then we can